Should you or shouldn't you be bidding on your branded keywords? It's a big topic, so let's get into it. Now, before we get into that, I'm Chelsea So. I've been managing Google Ads campaigns since I started with my own website back in 2004. Since then, I've worked with hundreds of companies to help them scale their Google Ads to improve sales, increase leads, and get a lot more out of their existing Google Ads campaigns. And I have come across this conundrum of whether you should bid on your branded terms many times, and I'm going to give you my take on it. Now, whether or not you should bid on your branded terms is really dependent upon your brand. Do you have the budget? Are you big enough? Are people actually searching for your brand? All of these play into account when you're going to decide whether or not you should bid on your branded terms. The biggest deciding factor of all is if a competitor is bidding on your branded term as a keyword phrase, then yes, it's a good idea to make sure that they stay below you. So you're going to have a sponsored ad appear above theirs because their sponsored ad is appearing above your organic listing. So that's definitely a reason why you want to be bidding on your branded terms is if a competitor is paying to rank above you. You can shove them down and they're going to have to pay a lot of money to maintain that position if you're bidding. If you're not bidding, it's not going to be expensive for them at all. They can just show up on top of you. So my recommendation is to look at some of the other brands, especially like big box stores. You'll see they all run sponsored ads on their branded terms, and a lot of SaaS companies, they all bid on each other's keywords. You'll see that as well. So there's a lot of competitor strategies that you can employ, and you want to guardrail your traffic to make sure that they're not heading over to a competitor site and buying from them or subscribing to them. So you definitely want to keep that in mind. Now, if you are a big brand and nobody is bidding on your keywords, so let's say you're a university or you're in a industry that's not so cutthroat and you have no other competitors that are bidding on your brand name, should you bid on your keywords? Well, if you're pretty popular and you have a lot of search activity on your branded terms, it can get kind of expensive. I mean, your branded keywords are going to be the lowest cost keywords that you have, but they're not going to cost nothing, and sometimes they might cost, over $1 or so, and so that can really add up. Now, the benefit there is some branding benefit because you can test different things, test different messaging in your ads, and you get to control exactly what it says versus being totally reliant upon Google, crawling your website and putting up a free organic listing based on what is in your title tag and your website description and what's listed on your page. So Google dictates what your organic listing looks like, whereas if you pay for that listing, then you get to decide exactly what that says, exactly what links are included as site links down below your main ad. You're going to take up way more real estate on the search results page, and the value that's incredible is really the testing. So if you're a big brand and you're getting lots of branded traffic and you can afford it, then yes, you definitely want to be bidding on your branded terms so that you get all that value from that testing, that larger real estate, and you get the ability to control exactly what your customers see when they search your name on Google. If you're a very small brand, you're just getting started, there's not many people that are Googling for you, then yes, bid on your brand keyword. It's not going to cost you very much at all, and you're still going to get a lot of those benefits as far as being able to control exactly what somebody sees if and when they do search your term. So you also get the advantage of guarding your positioning from competitors. So if you don't get a lot of branded traffic, absolutely yes, bid on your brand term. Now, if your brand name is very similar to something that's common, like, orange, you're gonna show up for searches, you're gonna match for searches that include that word in people's search terms. So if somebody's looking for sunflower seeds and your brand name is seed, then you could show up for those searches. And so the best way to get around that is to use an exact match type, but it's not a guarantee. And so you still want to be very diligent with negative keywords to make sure that you exclude any irrelevant search terms that happen to be with your brand keyword. For all brands, I recommend just throwing in negative keywords such as scam or legit or anything that, you just don't really want to be bothered with in terms of paying for that traffic, someone who's trying to research bad things about you. And obviously, if there is some reputation purposes that you want to include those words, then I would target those directly. Scam is the one I was looking for. Your name's scam. I don't like showing up for that type of stuff unless I've never actually had this scenario, but you could show up for that if you have a specific page that's going to talk to that specific issue and then you bid on that keyword. But otherwise, I just don't like to show for it. Now, the last thing to consider when you're bidding on your branded keywords is attribution. And so a lot of people are going to be introducing themselves to you, becoming aware of who you are, and then eventually become a customer. And usually when they're at that point, when they're ready to become a customer, they're going to go to Google and type in your brand name. That's a very common thing. And so your branded terms will overly be attributed success in terms of sales and revenue and leads. And so that's definitely something you want to keep in mind is brand does serve because it does take a part in that user journey to get to become a customer, but it's going to get a lot of the credit. So just keep that in mind when you are bidding on your branded keywords. And a huge tip is if you are spending a significant portion of your marketing budget on branded keywords, I would highly encourage you to do a test. And what you do is you turn those branded keywords off for a month, a week, and you measure and you see what impact has that really had on your overall sales, and is it worth continuing, especially if you're spending a significant amount of money on those branded keywords. And so that's a really great test just to try it out and see what's happening, because those branded keywords are being overly allocated. They're also gobbling up any natural organic traffic that you could be getting. And so you really have to take an individualized approach to find out, is this strategy worth it? And in some cases, yes, absolutely. In some other cases, not so much. Now, randomly bidding on your branded keywords obviously isn't a great strategy. You don't want to just go in that blind. So if you want some professional help to look at, okay, how much are we spending on brand? Is this worth it? Is it adding to what we're doing, or is it taking away from profitability? Then go ahead and check out the link in the description below. You can apply to work with us. We offer a free audit if you qualify. Check that out in the description link below. You can also check out this video where I go step by step on how you can audit your own campaign if that's something that you're interested in. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video.